A historian of the martial arts, Donn Draeger was widely regarded as the foremost authority on many Asian martial arts. He is perhaps one of the most important figures in the development of Eastern martial arts in the West. Much younger martial artists may not be aware of his influence on pioneers such as Henry Plea and Dan Ivan. He was a practitioner and teacher of several martial arts. He researched and wrote books on various martial arts, ranging from karate to ninjutsu, that provided an introduction to people in the West. His book, Comprehensive Asian Fighting Arts, is still a very popular book today. Donald Frederick Draeger was born to parents Frank and Irma Draeger on the 15th of April 1922 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This was during the Great Depression of 1920s America. His parents eventually separated and remarried. Around the age of 7 or 8 years, Draeger started learning jiu-jitsu. He was now living in Chicago with his mother. He soon switched from jiu-jitsu to judo. By 1932, he had been promoted to second kyu. In 1940, Draeger, aged 17, moved in with his father, Frank, and his new wife, Dora. Draeger had 2 half-brothers on his father's side and a half-brother on his mother's side. Draeger enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1943. His basic training was at the San Diego Marine Recruiting Base. He was selected to join the Officer Training Regiment, where he trained as a communications officer. In 1944, at the height of World War II, Draeger was deployed to the Pacific Arena, where it is thought that he saw action at the Battle of Iwo Jima. In April 1945, Draeger was transferred to the 3rd Amphibious Corps as they were preparing for their planned invasion of Japan. The Corps was deployed to North China in August to accept the surrender of the Japanese soldiers. After he finished his deployment with the 3rd Amphibious Corps, he was transferred to a signal unit based in Tianjin, China, in October. Draeger returned to the United States in February 1946. He had various assignments in the states of Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin. In January 1947, Draeger was reassigned to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Around this time, he was promoted to the rank of captain and placed in charge of a company. At Camp Lejeune, Draeger ran the base's judo club and was the main instructor. In 1948, he was promoted to the rank of 4th Dan. He also trained at the judo club of Johnny Osako in Chicago. On the 18th of June 1949, Draeger was married in Bluefield, West Virginia. Even though he and his wife had 2 sons, the couple divorced in 1951. In the summer of 1951, Draeger was deployed to the Korean city of Hongcheon, where he served as a signal officer in the 1st Marine Division. The following year, he was reassigned to Marine Corps headquarters. On the 30th of June 1956, Draeger left the Marine Corps. He held the rank of lieutenant. He attended Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. However, he moved to Japan, where he continued his studies at Sophia University. While in Japan, Draeger lived in the Ichigaya district of Tokyo. Westerners visiting Tokyo would sometimes stay and train with him at his house. In his book, Moving Zen, Karate as a Way of Gentleness, Shotokan practitioner C.W. Nickel described his stay at the house. At the time, Nickel was training at the JKA Hombu. Other notable martial artists such as Steve Arnale and John Blooming also visited the house. Draeger had become one of the top foreign judokas practicing in Japan. In 1961, alongside Englishman John Cornish, he was selected to demonstrate techniques at the All-Japan Judo Championships. They became the first non-Japanese to be given the honor of doing this. With the 1964 Olympics taking place in Tokyo, Draeger was named the United States Amateur Athletic Union judo representative in Japan. By 1963, Draeger had started exploring other martial arts such as karate, kendo, and iaido. When Draeger had been stationed in Japan, he crossed paths with Dan Ivan, who was also serving in Japan. Draeger introduced Ivan to Shito-ryu legend Fumio Demura. Demura started teaching Ivan karate at Draeger's Ichigaya home. 1963 also saw Draeger co-author a 6-book practical karate series with Masatoshi Nakayama of the JKA. The books were written to showcase the self-defense aspect of karate in real-world situations for a Western audience. The books featured the likes of Hiroshi Shoji and C.W. Nickel acting as the attackers in the book. In December 1963, Draeger traveled to France for a judo competition. It was around this time that he met Henry Plea. Plea had been practicing a martial art he thought was karate. However, Draeger informed him that he was practicing a form of French boxing. He provided Plea with footage of a karate demonstration given in front of General MacArthur. He later provided Plea with a 15-min 42-sec film showing Shotokan karate training. The film featured Isao Obata and Masatoshi Nakayama performing various techniques. These films changed the course of Plea's training and, in so doing, European karate. Draeger began traveling around Asia in 1966 with a group of other martial artists. The aim of the trip was to research different martial arts. He visited Malaysia, the Philippines, Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand. In 1967, Draeger doubled for actor Sean Connery in the film You Only Live Twice. The film was shot on location in Japan. Draeger and the foreigners staying with him would sometimes be cast by Japanese producers looking for foreign extras to appear in their films. Draeger became the first foreigner to be allowed to train at the Tenshin Shoden Katori Shinto Ryu School. The school was one of the oldest martial arts schools in Japan. It taught various weapons arts, including the sword, the staff, and the spear. The school also taught several forms of jiu-jitsu. 1969 saw the publication of Draeger's book, Asian Fighting Arts, co-authored with Robert W. Smith. Both men spent a lot of time researching various martial arts and, through their shared interest, formed a close friendship. From 1973 to 1974, Draeger had several books and articles published. The books showcased various Japanese martial arts. The books included Classical Bujutsu, Martial Arts and Ways of Japan, Classical Budo, Martial Arts and Ways of Japan, and Modern Bujutsu and Budo, Martial Arts and Ways of Japan. In the 1970s, after more than 25 years of practice, Draeger became disillusioned with the direction judo was taking. He felt the art had moved away from the ideals of judo founder Jigoro Kano. For the next couple of years, Draeger traveled around Asia for 4 months at a time. He spent time researching various martial arts and combat systems in the countries visited. He spent time living in Japan, China, Mongolia, Korea, Malaysia, and Indonesia. In 1979, Draeger and a group of martial artists visited the island of Sumatra, Indonesia. They were there to learn the fighting arts of the Aceh tribe. It is thought that during their visit, the group were poisoned. Draeger was hospitalized after developing amoebic dysentery as a result of the poisoning. Draeger's 1969 book, Asian Fighting Arts, was republished in 1980. It was renamed Comprehensive Fighting Arts. Following the poisoning, Draeger's health never fully recovered. He gradually grew weaker and lost a lot of weight. As time progressed, he found it difficult to walk or do any form of training. During a visit to Tripler Army Hospital, Honolulu, Hawaii, where he was being treated, it was discovered that he had developed liver cancer. On the 20th of October 1982, Donald Frederick Donn Draeger died from cancer at the Veterans Hospital located in Milwaukee. He was buried 5 days later at the Wood National Cemetery. Unfortunately, his death attracted very little attention. Many people did not even know he had returned to the United States. Almost 16 years after his burial, a delegation arrived from Japan to pay their respects at Draeger's graveside. The delegation comprised of 8 martial artists led by Tsunemori Kaminoda, a high-ranking instructor. The party consisted of both American and Japanese martial artists. One of the martial artists had discovered purely by accident that Draeger was buried close to where he trained. Donn Draeger can be considered one of the greatest pioneers of Asian martial arts in the West through his books and articles. He made these arts accessible to a Western audience who had had very little knowledge about them. He was held in high regard by the Japanese. He became the first non-Japanese instructor at the famed Kodokan, the home of Japanese judo. Draeger was at one point the director of the International Hopology Society, based in Tokyo. Hopology is the study of the development and evolution of human combative systems and behavior. Having a knowledge of several martial arts, Draeger was considered by many to be ahead of his time, especially in his approach to training. Thank you for listening to Finding Karate's profile on Donn Draeger. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.